Hi, I'm Alex from Southern Ukulele Store. We haven't done a frequently asked question video in years, so I'm going to run through the 5 most frequently asked questions we get asked here at Southern Ukulele Store. Why are some ukes so expensive? That's a great question. Well, where they're made is a factor. A Chinese-made ukulele made in a facility with lots of staff and the right machinery to do things quickly and efficiently is always going to be cheaper than a USA-made instrument where the minimum wage or the wage a luthier will pay themselves is higher, with individual attention to detail. Geographically, it's very expensive to produce ukuleles in places like San Francisco, hence why Blackbird are so expensive, or Hawaii, hence why a Hawaiian-made ukulele has crept up in price over the years, whereas the Chinese instruments have not crept up at the same kind of level. Tonewoods will always be another factor as well, because it's geographically quite expensive to ship a tonewood from one region to another. For example, mango is abundant because it's grown in so many different places, so mango tends to be more affordable in China or in instruments that are made in the Far East. But for mango to get shipped that's not of Hawaiian origin to Hawaii costs quite a lot of money and a lot of time, so that's reflected in the price when you're looking at high-end custom mango ukuleles. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, where possible, using an indigenous wood to an area is always a good thing. Another thing to consider is the smaller details. If something's more unique, or it has something like lots of binding or a cutaway, something that will require more manufacturing time or setup time for mass manufacturing, that will be a factor in the price as well. There's also name to consider, something with a brand name, a recognizable name built on hard work and consistency over many years. That's always reflected in the price as well. For example, a Kala might be a few pounds more expensive than a similar ukulele made by an equivalent brand, because people know that Kala care about what they're producing. Same thing with Flight, same thing with premium brands like Kanalea, Martin, things like that. You do pay a little bit for a name as well, there's no denying that. Can we set up the ukulele for you before we send it? Well, spoiler alert, we do that anyway. If you're going to a ukulele specialist, I think it's pretty safe to assume that they have some kind of workbench facility. The factory setup of ukuleles has improved over the years. There are definitely times, maybe 1 in 10, where we look at a ukulele and the time we spend on it is more about examining it than having to make any adjustments. Enya, for example, are very good at this. Enya ukuleles always arrive with a low action. What's a low action? Well, people ask for it, but they don't know what it is. The action is, there's 2 elements to an action. You have the bit by the nut, and then you have the bit at the saddle. The height at the saddle, measured to the crown of the 12th fret, is where we measure the action. So if someone says it's got a 2.5 mil action, they're talking about the height from the string to the crown of the 12th fret. So that means it plays nice and light and low to the fretboard all the way up the neck to that 12th fret and beyond. The other thing to consider is the nut. A lot of inexpensive ukuleles have the nut cut very, very high. That's something that we have to do, but we do it as standard. We don't charge you any more for that. And on our website is a box where you can tell us your specific needs, and if we can meet them when we are getting your order ready to send out, then we will. If we can't, we'll usually give you a call and discuss it with you. Why don't we offer a cheap ukulele pickup? Well, that's a good question. We've offered them over the years. We've done things like the Artec undersaddle piezo's. We've done some double systems. We've done some systems that you would drill into the side of the ukulele. The thing about cheap pickups is that they are cheap. You can get a good cheap pickup, but if you put that cheap pickup in a £2,000 ukulele, you're doing something that will devalue that instrument. You're also doing something that robs the instrument of its true potential. If you put a good pickup in a good ukulele, you can't really go wrong. They're easier to install, they don't go wrong as often, and they are consistent. I have found in 16 years of doing this that cheap pickups are inconsistent. You might get one good one, but for every 5 good ones, you're going to get one that is duff, one that you have wasted time fitting into an instrument. And as a result, even when I can source small quantities of pickups, we don't like to charge you astronomical amounts of money to fit something that is a cheap component into a good quality ukulele. So as a result, a few years ago we decided not to offer a cheaper pickup option. What we do sell is a MySci, which is a rechargeable pickup where you can plug the ukulele into the mains and charge it back up. That's an active option, and we offer a Fishman Pro Go pickup, which is a really good passive option. Consistent, we get very few, if any, failures. We know they're going to work, and we know that they're going to work in 10 years time. You're not going to bring your ukulele back with a problem. It's not going to go wrong in the middle of a gig. What's the best tone wood? Oh my god, I've done so many videos on this, I highly recommend looking at my Ukes of Alex channel. I've done videos specifically on Tonewoods. I'm going to give you the quickest summary I can so that I can cut this into a 1-minute reel. Koa, it's bubbly, it's bright, it's tropical, it sounds like the tradition of ukulele. It's got that Hawaiian sound to it. It's more nuanced and perfect for a strummer, perfect for somebody who wants to basically have that lullaby effect when they play the ukulele. Mango does the same thing, but with more bass. So for me, Mango is just a more complex version of Koa. It's soulful, it has more of a subtext to it. If you play a sad song on a Mango ukulele, it sounds sadder than on a Koa ukulele. Acacia, very similar to Koa, just grown in a different part of the world. Acacia quite often looks different to Koa, but you can get really lovely high-grade pieces of acacia. Mahogany, Martin did mahogany so well in the 1920s and 30s. Mahogany has a soulful, more complex sound to it than Koa as well. Typically, you find mahogany on sopranos and concert ukuleles. Obviously, you find them on tenors and baritones in the world now, but if you're after a traditional soprano ukulele sound, it's probably mahogany that you're thinking of and not Koa. Spruce and cedar, these are soft woods, they reflect well, they give the ukulele a more guitar-like sound, it's snappier. They have their own eccentricities that's too difficult to talk about here right now, but if you're after a louder ukulele or after a ukulele more suited to finger picking and the guitar style of play, then spruce or cedar might be the wood you go for. Maple. Well, maple tonally has a lot of similar qualities to Koa. I find that maple is more of a reflective wood. So if you pair maple up with a spruce or a cedar top, what you get is a loud, sweet ukulele. Maple is great for tops, but best used as a back and sides wood, in my opinion. All of the other wood types, pear, bloodwood, totchi, all of these exotic woods, they all have their own flavour and uniqueness. I couldn't summarise that in a video, but you're definitely better off doing a bit of research on those individual ukuleles if they're made of an alternative wood like that. I want to buy from you, but I'm in the EU or I'm overseas, it's too expensive. Let me explain it as quick as I can for you. So if you're inside the EU, you would pay the ex-VAT price on our website. We would take the VAT for your country, and we take all of that, including the customs charge at the checkout. You pay no more before you take delivery of the ukulele. There is a shipping charge when you put the ukulele in your cart at the checkout. If you're in the EU and you want to buy from the UK, don't be afraid. The less said about Brexit, the better, but we're in that situation now. We're trying to make it work, and we can ship to the EU, and there are lots of customers that have bought ukuleles from us. We take all of the VAT and duty, and it's a very smooth experience for them before they take delivery. If you're outside the EU, you would pay the ex-VAT price, and then you would pay the delivery agent, whether it's FedEx, UPS, etc., the customs charge and customs duty and VAT before you take delivery. If you're in the UK, it's easy, just click and buy like you do from anyone else. So there's 5 frequently asked questions. If you have any more questions, leave a comment, we'll get back to it when we can. Or you can contact us in store on 01202 430 820 or email alex@ukulele.co.uk. Thanks for watching, see you soon.